Dreamers say we love the alcohol, la 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all, la 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 la. But my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every mother must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris,
I'm Russ.
and this is episode 402.
402, back in the virtual nerd basement, guys. Welcome once again to a lovely Tuesday in Detroit.
It
I'm
actually
glad
is.
that
It was a nice day.
it was. 'Twas a nice day. It's going to be nicer tomorrow, like a high of mid-70s. I'm pleased, and I'm feeling like we have potentially.
Don't say it. As soon as you say it, it's going to start snowing.
I think we've turned the corner. I think it's
That's it. It's snow tomorrow.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, look. Weather Channel just updated. It's going to snow tomorrow.
Shit. Well, shit.
Hey, Wings Kook.
Hey, Wings. So yeah, it's a beautiful day. It was nice, comfortable day today, and hopefully we'll be comfortable the rest of the week. And
Here's
it's gonna be
hoping.
back in the basement. What's that?
I said, here's hoping.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
we played D&D this Friday. Pick up right in the middle of the fight.
I'm hoping to make it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to yet, but I'm going to text the guy and see.
Renee
What?
said, this is Michigan. She throws temperatures out like lottery numbers.
Yeah, for sure. That bitch.
So speaking of
yeah.
that, though, you're also going to Sonic Temple real soon, and you're going to be gone for a while. Are you missing this show for that?
No, we'll be leaving on Wednesday.
Okay, and you'll be
We'll
back,
leave Wednesday morning.
and you'll be back before the following Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So we'll leave Wednesday and probably middle of the day or so, and or earlier part of the day, and then I will be back on Monday morning or Monday. We'll leave Monday morning and I'll be back.
Okay.
So yeah, I won't be missing this at all.
okay.
Which
yes.
does remind me, I do have to order some makeup. Not
Yeah,
right now. But
yeah. So Renee said it snowed on her birthday before, and that's in middle of March or middle of May. Hell, there was a year that we had a barbecue, and I'm like, yeah, let's schedule the first barbecue of the year. We'll invite all our friends over. We'll put it at May 19th. Your birthday weekend. We'll have people over. It'll be fine. 39 degrees and snowing.
I think I remember that. I wasn't able to make it, but I do remember you throwing it, and then it was fucking snowed, and yeah.
ACD.
Now, you got to admit, that is that's an odd, snow in, later May is kind of out of the ordinary. We don't generally get snow in later May.
No, but we do a lot of times in April.
Yeah,
And we
April
did.
for sure.
Hell, we had snow a week ago.
Yeah, and well, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, in northern Michigan more. But I mean, yeah, there's been snow on the ground at Easter.
Well, I just mean
I know Easter moves
snowing.
around.
I'm not saying it was sticking, but I'm saying it was
yeah.
snowing like a week ago.
Easter does move around a bit, so
Yeah.
but there has been many times when I've seen snow on the ground at Easter.
And thanks for the hail, CD.
What's that? All hail nerds. It's yes, and the hail too. The other day too, there was hail. So,
But yeah, so how was your week?
Stressful. So I was explaining to you before we went on. I got called from. I'd set up a CT scan. I told you guys that I'm having some health concerns, so I was supposed to go do a CT scan yesterday, and they had to reschedule because they hadn't, heard from the insurance company yet whether they, for the approval. And so they're like, well, we want to set it out another week or two just to give them some more time. And I'm like, I was mad because I'm like, I'm stressed out about this. I'm going to get this taken care of. So I scheduled it for the 5th, and then I went, no, I'm leaving for Sonic Temple for this on the 7th. I don't want to do it that close. So then I called them back and rescheduled for the 1st. And I'm like, okay, it's all set. And then the next day, I get an email from Blue Cross Blue Shield saying, okay, you're all set for your, for your CT scan. I'm like, shit. So, but then Easter was pleasant enough. I did Canterbury Village all weekend, and it was lovely. It was relatively warm on Friday and pretty nice on Saturday too. And well, we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of having Sunday, so that we didn't have to do it on Easter. My mom and dad brought my sister and my nephew to the event on Saturday, and it's funny. Like my nephew's only 6, and he took one look at me. Is he 6 or 7? I think he might be 7 now. He took one look at me and took off like a bat out of hell, like just running. There's hundreds of people around. He doesn't know any. He's being a little bashful. Yeah, he's like, ah. And my sister, takes off after him. Now, he's just being dramatic. He knows who I am, even if I'm wearing makeup and was in the costume. But he doesn't see me all the time, but he knows who I am. And my poor sister went after him and just was like, she comes back, dragging him back, and she's out of breath. And I'm just like, she's ready to murder my heavily ADHD, nephew. But he calmed down after a while, and he got just fascinated. There was at least 2 guys that were selling 3D printed stuff. Mm-hmm. Little animals and toys and just things, and he was just fascinated by it. And I happened to mention that I might be buying a 3D printer off a buddy of mine, just for shits and giggles, in which I will probably look to you for some help with that. Mm-hmm. And then
Which
they
kind?
mentioned it.
Resin or filament?
I think it's a resin printer, but I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Shadow. I'm gonna probably buy it off of Shadow after Sonic Temple. So, and anyway, I'm like, I mentioned it to my sister, and my sister happened to mention it to the guy selling shit, and whom I had struck up a conversation with earlier in the night. And he's like, yeah, they said you're gonna buy one now and start printing stuff up for your nephew. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. What the fuck? Yeah, Shadow's gonna he sell it to me for like $100 or whatever. It's like I think they spent like $300 on it or something originally. It's like, that's an older one.
Yeah, find out what it is. I'll let you know if it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the thing that the guy that I was talking to said, that the technology is moving so quickly that I mean, a 5-year-old one is quickly out of out of date, or at least obsolete or whatever, But I figured this would be good. I mean, Shadow showed me one of the things that it printed. It's probably not really good to do like good D&D minis, but it might be a good one to kind of get my feet wet, just kind of figure
it depends. Yeah, it depends on what you're getting. But yeah, get the info on it and let me know, and I'll let you know. If you can get the model of it too, that would be
okay. So anyway, so there's that. And we had brunch at for Easter with my family, and I did not expect to spend $100 at the place. That hurt a little bit. It was just under. It was like $37 a head for me and Stella, and plus tip. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So, but yeah, and it just getting closer to Sonic Temple. I'm getting excited about that. It's going to be cool. We got my, that was the other thing, taxes and everything were last week too. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, hemorrhaging money left and right, so, and then my, washer took a dump. So I had to, yesterday had to have took my car in, had that fixed. Thankfully that didn't cost me anything because they had to fix the fix that they did. Mm-hmm. And then today I had to pay $220 to have my washer repaired. I should have gone into IT. I should have gone into IT, Chris. I should have gone into IT.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done.
Yep. I went into it because I'm like, everybody's going to, even if what I do changes, I can change with it. And
Yeah.
though there's always going to be this technology.
Yeah. Well, like, when we met, you weren't in IT.
No, I was
If I
trying to get
remember
into
correctly.
it, but
Yeah, but you were like doing other
I was an
stuff.
automotive engineer actually at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And but then you got into, and then you were also doing like some, reserve cop shit too.
Yeah, I was a reserve police
Remember
officer.
that
Yep.
reserve
Hey,
police officer.
Ojipo.
Yeah, hey buddy. But yeah, it's just like I've just kind of watched you over the years, like deal with it, and for the most part, it's always been relatively, for you, it's been pretty positive.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to me that you've had too many, over the last 20 years, had too many like problems. You've always been able to be gainfully employed. There hasn't been since you got into IT. So it's like,
Yes.
but no, I went to art school. Although I can say, I am one of the few people I know that can say that, yes, I am gainfully employed as an artist. I don't make a
Yes.
lot of money, but I do, and the fact that, I mean, yes, I have to have these side gigs to kind of get me by, but, such is life, I guess. How was your week?
I mean,
Like,
it was all right. Got together for Easter over at Renee's parents' house. Also celebrated a niece and a nephew's birthday. They were born 10 hours apart. And
10 hours apart?
10 hours apart, different
Wow.
different siblings too. I mean, they
Right, yeah.
weren't twins. They were 10 hours apart, and
Yes, that
different
was
brothers. One's
yeah.
Pete's, one's Rich's.
It's so fucking weird, man.
It's Rich's oldest and Pete's youngest are the.
It's just so nuts. I mean, these are two brothers that are Irish twins that were born within the same year, and
well, it's the same calendar year, but
the same calendar year, right? And they both have children that
or
are
actually say within one full year. They weren't in the same
Right.
calendar year.
and they both have children
Yep.
that are pretty much the same age.
Yeah, that are the exact same age. Yeah.
That are the exact, within several hours of each
Yep.
other. That's messed up, dude. Because when you really think about it, they were conceiving those children
Within hours of each other.
within hours of each other.
Not necessarily, but yes.
Not necessarily, but I mean, kids say, fuck, dude. I really hope Peter Rich is listening to this.
If not, I'm going to bring it up on Friday.
Yeah.
Even if you're
Oh,
not
no, you
there.
gotta
I'm gonna
bring
say,
it.
Russ was talking about the fact that with them being that close together, that means you two conceived at the same within hours of each other.
Yeah. At the very least, within like a week, at the very. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, I guess the original due dates were 3 days apart.
Wow. Okay.
And Renee said, "Oh, the jokes have been made."
Renee, as well as I expect. I expect that.
But anyway, so we went over there for dinner. That was a nice time. Other than that, it's been a pretty quiet week. Just doing work. I'm getting ready for my next few weeks are going to be really busy. I probably will miss. Actually will miss 1 week. We will not be having a show May 20th because I will be in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh my God, Omaha.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, because I'm so happy about going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will not be having the show there. Other than that, though, I took my so I work on Fortinet equipment right now, and I took my first certification exam for a Fortinet product, and I passed it.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks. So I was happy about that. Other than that, I go see my surgeon tomorrow for my follow up to see how my knee's doing. Hopefully, find out when I can start golfing. Yeah, then just getting ready for this week. I will be in Flint for work on Friday, and then we'll be hustling home to get home in time for gaming.
Right.
And then I have to go back first thing Saturday morning to do more work. So that's going to kind of suck.
Well, I mean, driving to Flint from where you live, it's not a
it's an
great
hour.
drive.
It's an hour and 4 minutes according to Google to get
Yeah,
from my house to the office.
Would
But
be the equitably to driving to Ann Arbor.
yeah,
You know.
but I mean that's the thing though is that I have to be there at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, which means I got to
Yeah.
get up at like 6, which means at most I'm going to get 5.5 or so hours of sleep that night, unless I call things early. It depends on when the fight ends and where there's a good spot. But yeah, other than that, it was just it was a pretty typical week. Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
Thanks, Ojipo. I hope I'm cleared for golf too. I will not be getting a no restrictions release tomorrow because I know that I can't curl, at least not in getting in the hack until at least the end of May. Probably he'll probably be happy if I don't do it until next year. But I'm hoping I can at least get out to the range and start hitting balls, and then within like a month or so can actually get out and do 9 holes of golf if I ride in a cart. I'm not expecting to be able to walk 9 holes until probably midsummer, and not expecting to be able to walk 18 until probably the end of summer at best. And I'm hoping I can even do 18 within a month or two. But we'll see. But other than that, just hanging out, doing shit here, working on things, still working to figure out what Renee and I want to do if we're gonna try and get the hell out of this country. But because more shit going down over the weekend that I saw.
Yeah.
That turned up. It's actually from before that, but it just came out. More signal bullshit.
Oh yeah, we had Pete Hegseth again decides to use Signal and discuss military plans with his lawyer,
his wife, and his brother-in-law.
And brother-in-law. Now his wife is I think she's a former broadcaster or something like that, a reporter. His brother-in-law
has a job at the Pentagon.
Yeah, or something like that. And his lawyer,
personal attorney, I think, also has a job at the Pentagon.
But it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. What? You don't discuss that shit over a chat app.
Right. And an aide had told him that he should not be sending that out across an unsecured app.
Exactly. There are a lot of people that, or not a lot of people, but I've been reading that it's entirely possible that Hegseth will probably be fired soon because of the mess this month has been.
Well,
that
Trump's
Donald
still
Trump
standing by him right now
at the moment.
Yeah,
but he's been known to do that.
Yeah,
to play to show up, put up a show of support, and then a week or 2 weeks later firing the person.
The fucker doesn't remember. I mean, he's basically saying that the Treasury Secretary was all for Biden and helped Biden beat Trump in 2020. And Trump's the one that appointed this guy,
right? Yeah.
And now he's telling him he wants him to cut interest rates right now, and he doesn't have that power.
Yeah, exactly. There's no. That's the other thing I think that is so mind-boggling is that Donald Trump actually doesn't understand he doesn't have unlimited power.
Yeah, he doesn't have any clear understanding. He doesn't even have an inkling of understanding of how the government actually works.
Right.
But
then there's also the fact that there's a lot of things that they're talking about, like they want to remove the ability for judges to be able to make federal injunctions that would last throughout the entire country. Like something happens in Michigan and happens also if something happens in, say, Nevada and a judge says no, that's unconstitutional, then it also affects everybody in the country. Whatever. They want to make it a
federal case, yeah.
If it's a federal case, they want to make it so that each state, it has to be decided upon by in each state.
Well, each state
which would
has
be
its
a
own
fucking mess.
Well, each state does have that, but that's for state laws. If it pertains to something that is federally regulated, then it becomes
He wants to
a federal
hamstring,
case. Right.
Right. He wants to hamstring federal judges
Yeah.
because the federal judges are the ones that have been denying his ability, to do the things that he wants to do. And it's not going to fly. There's a lot of people that say that bill won't even, get past the House or whatever because it's just it's too much.
Yeah, you can't hamstring the checks and balances like that. He's trying
Right.
to set it up so that he can become a dictator,
Right, exactly.
which is what
Legally.
everyone said he was going to do.
Yeah, and it's exactly what he is doing. And but it has been very like promising, at least the fact that he has had a lot of resistance,
Well, yeah,
with
that's
the
the thing. So like,
and he's had
the Hegseth
resistance.
stuff.
He's had resistance from people that we didn't think would resist him. So
Yeah, the Hegseth stuff. I mean, there's even Republicans calling for him to be fired now.
Yeah.
or for his
Yeah.
resignation.
as well they should because he's a fucking moron. He is a fucking moron.
It truly is. Completely
so, yeah.
unqualified. But anyway, but that I didn't want to get off on that topic. But
Well, real quick before we leave that, a friend of mine brought up, and I wish I had found it, I had it, but a friend of mine brought up that she was seeing that she is not a Trump supporter, but she did look up the fact that apparently a bunch of businesses have stated that, and she listed it, that a ton of businesses have announced that they will be investing billions of dollars in America, and bringing their aspects of their business to the United States, manufacturing and all this kind of stuff. They're saying, and it's leading credence to the idea that the tariffs are working enough to the point that they're scaring companies and whatnot enough to the point that the companies are willing to reinvest in the United States. The problem with that is that it will still take years
yep,
for those companies to be able to.
it takes at least 5 years, a minimum of 5 years, to build a manufacturing plant,
Right.
and then you got to
So-
staff it.
Right. I mean, and then on top of it, it's like, is anybody honest to God's really going to want to do these manufacturing jobs? I mean, the American people have been moving away from manufacturing.
Exactly.
Now, they also said there was also people saying, well, the thing is they can staff it with robots, basically. That's one of the reasons why so many of these companies are pushing and pushing and pushing for robotics, but they can staff it with an automated workforce, and that yes, there'll be humans there to maintain the workforce and but they still won't have to pay this workforce. They won't have to pay the automation. So these companies are going to make ridiculous amounts of money because they'll bring the companies here. They'll make all of this stuff here, but then who's going to be able to buy their shit? Nobody, because they're not going to, we're going to have a country that's worth 50% unemployment, and it's fucked up, man. But I wish I could find. I'm going to see if I can find the post that she made, but it was just it was really disheartening, fucking scary. But anyways, what are you drinking?
That's what I was going to ask you. But I am drinking something I have done on the show before, but it's been a while. But this is from my cellar downstairs, my beer cellar. I decided to dip into that and do another Dragon's Milk Reserve. This one is actually from almost exactly 3 years ago. In 1 week, if I had waited 1 week, if I had looked at the date before I actually did this, I might not have done this one today. I would have saved it for next week because it would be exactly 3 years to the day that this was bottled. This was bottled on 4/29/22. And it is this lovely dark substance right here. It is the Dragon's Milk Reserve bourbon barrel stout with stroopwafel cookies, coffee, caramel, and cinnamon.
It sounds like a lovely dessert.
It is. It's got a lot of bourbon aroma now. This one, yeah, you're right. See, this one was a great one. This is one of my favorites. So I'm gonna take another sip here. It still holds up. It's still got some of the stroopwafel flavor. It's got a little bit of coffee. The coffee's not overpowering, which I like, and it's still got some of the cinnamon, which actually surprises me. And actually, oh yeah, one of the things is this was brewed with actual stroopwafel cookies. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it on there, but yeah, there you can kind of see there's little pieces of stroopwafel in it still. Like
wild.
There's you get little pieces of it in there every once in a while. But this is still delicious. After 3 years, it's an 11% ABV. The only thing I would say is it's probably those flavors have probably gone down a little bit. But the alcohol, the actual like alcohol flavor has gone up. But overall, though, this is still superb. I would definitely still give this at least a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, delicious, absolutely delicious. What about you?
On. Today I am having another one of these lovely House of the Dragon. It's my last one. House of the Dragon ciders, dragon fruit pomegranate, craft imperial, from Ace, out of California. It's a lovely
Ace is
fucking
the place with the helpful cider folks.
Exactly. It's just it's a lovely fucking cider, man. It was really, really great. So figured I'd have the last one.
Cool. Sorry, I'm looking outside. I'm looking out my window, and I'm seeing these dark clouds, and I'm wondering if that's still from the fire that was going on earlier today.
Yeah, I heard about that. Some kind of fire in your area.
Yeah, over at about a mile south of me, maybe a mile and a half away. It was a huge industrial fire, I guess, and they were telling anyone within a half a mile to shelter in place with windows and doors closed, because they were worried about air quality and the possibility of toxic chemicals being burned. I don't know if it was put out, but I am seeing dark clouds that actually also kind of resemble smoke. Hadn't seen any of that all day. Didn't even know about it until Renee told me earlier. She saw it because she was on her way home and found out that one of the roads was closed. But yeah. So let's see. Ojipo is drinking wonderful, fully filtered H2O with half a slice limon over rocks. Okay. Gatorade's better.
Gatorade.
H2O.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Wheeze the Juice IPA from Drecker for CD. Yes, Ojibo just said H2O. Renee's having sparkling grapefruit juice.
All right. I can't have grapefruit juice.
No?
No. One of the medications, the statin that I'm on, basically says don't drink grapefruit juice. Don't eat grapefruits.
Huh.
So
interesting.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it will do, but I don't like grapefruit. I don't like grapefruit juice anyway. So
see, I love it, and that's what the base is for long drinks. So.
Right. No thanks. I mean, I don't know if I could have something that has something like that. I just know that it's advised that if you're on a statin for cholesterol, don't drink. Don't.
Now I gotta check because I am on a statin, and I was gonna have some of that.
Okay. Hey, I found the post I was talking about. Saw this on a fan of the Fruit Loops page, and the few investments I looked up are true. What do you think about this? "Quote unquote, tariffs seem to be working. Scores of businesses from around the world are planning massive investments in the U.S., shifting production and hiring American workers. The list grows longer every day." I'm going to rattle this off real quick. Project Stargate announced $500 billion private investment in the U.S.-based artificial intelligence infrastructure. Apple announced $500 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing training. NVIDIA announced it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years in U.S.-based manufacturing. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company announced a $100 billion investment in U.S.-based chips manufacturing. Eli Lilly and Company announced a $27 billion investment in domestic manufacturing. United Arab Emirates-based Damac Properties announced a $20 billion investment in new U.S.-based data centers. France-based CMA CGM Global Shipping Giant announced $20 billion investment in U.S. shipping and logistics. United Arab Emirates-based ADQ and U.S.-based Energy Capital Partners announced $25 billion investment in U.S. data centers and energy infrastructure. South Korean automaker Hyundai announced a $20 billion investment, including $5.8 billion for a new steel plant in Louisiana. Blah blah blah. Merck announced to invest $8 billion in the U.S. over the next several years. Claros announced $6 billion planned expansion. GE Aerospace announced a $1 billion investment in manufacturing across 16 states. Stellantis announced a $5 billion investment. Schneider Electric, $700 million over the next 4 years in U.S. energy infrastructure. GE Vernova, nearly $600 million in U.S. manufacturing over the next 2 years. London-based Diageo announced a $415 million. Dublin-based Eaton Corporation announced $340 million investment in various places around the country. Germany-based Siemens announced a $285 million investment in U.S. manufacturing and AI data centers. Paris Baguette announced a $160 million investment in construct manufacturing plant in Texas. Switzerland-based ABB, blah, blah, blah. Sika Groups, that's $110 million, $40 million, 36.5 million. I mean, Honda is going to produce its next generation Civic hybrid model in Indiana. Nissan. I mean, there's a lot of these here, but these are all considering, maybe, expected. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. And again,
I don't know why anybody would open up a new steel plant here with the amount that it costs to import steel now.
Well, that's the thing. It's expensive to do for production in the United States because we expect a living wage. It's more expensive to pay people here because it's more expensive to live here than it is in some places. So it's just...
We still don't pay people like they do in Europe.
No, but we do pay people more than they do in China or in Mexico or in some of these other places. So I don't know. It's just fucked up.
Yeah,
know?
Ojibo,
And like
I just
said,
read that same thing. Thanks for posting that.
Even if all of that stuff goes through, or even if half of that stuff goes through, it's still going to be a lot of hardship for Americans until that kind of stuff goes through. And it's not like it's going to suddenly fix everybody.
It's not the short-term hard. It's going to be a long-term hard.
It's been a decade at least.
It's going to be a decade of hardship.
Of hardship for all of us. And I don't know about you, but...
And we're not at the bottom yet.
No, I don't want to spend my 50s in hardship.
Nope.
You know, because that's the thing. Companies are going to pull back before they go forward. You know, they're going to invest less. There's going to be less companies that are going to want to spend $250,000 or $200,000 or whatever on a float for a single day, event in Detroit. You know, there's going to be companies are going to restructure, and they're going to maybe, have less IT, staff. They're going to have just less. It's going to be less of everything. And I mean, everybody's jobs and everybody's livelihoods are at risk.
Yep.
If that's the case.
Well, so one of the things I did last week that I didn't mention was I went to the Tigers game. Last Thursday when it was so nice. It was like 82 degrees. I think they said it was 87 at game time.
At the Tiger game?
Yeah. Last Thursday. Last Thursday was really warm.
In Detroit.
Yes.
It was not 87.
It was in the low 80s. It really was. It was, and I think that might have been the temperature on the field because the field is warmer than outside. But it was in the 80s. And anyway, I went there with one of my buddies from curling. He's a doctor. Same guy.
Doctor?
Yeah, he's a doctor, and he practices both here in Michigan and over in Windsor, in Canada. And then we were sitting there. And because he's a Red Wings season ticket holder, and these were actually free tickets that he got for being a Wings as a thank you from the Wings to say, hey, thanks. Here, come on out. You can we'll feed you some food before the game and let you have a couple of drinks, and then you can go watch the game. And we had really good seats, but anyway, so we were sitting there talking though, and I said, this is something I wanted to ask you. And I said, what's it like? Because you practice both here and in Canada. What is it like practicing here versus in Canada where there's universal health care? And he's like, and he was like, okay. And he just started going into it. He's like, here in Michigan, he goes, everything has to be pre-approved by your insurance. Everything. He's like, Canada, you come in, I say, you need this procedure. Guess what? You get that procedure. It's that simple. Here it's, well, you got to send it in for approval. Does the insurance company approve that you get this? So it's basically lawyers looking at it and making the decision instead of doctors. Is one thing. He said, two, here, he goes, I do the procedure. Say I charge $500. I submit it to insurance. They come back and say, no, you're only gonna get $200. And he's like, and you just have to accept it. He goes, where else can you do that? He goes, can we come to this game and have them say, oh yeah, the ticket's $50. Nah, I'm just gonna give you $20 and you're gonna let me in anyway. He's like, no, it doesn't work that way. He goes,
right, yeah.
Medicine is the only place that works. And it's the insurance companies dictating to the doctors how much they're going to pay them. And he said, then, he goes, not only that, he goes, I do the procedures. My billing person submits it to the insurance company. It will be anywhere between, I think he said, a week and 60 days before he gets paid.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, in Canada, he's like, my billing person, I do all my procedures, everything gets done. My billing person submits it on the 10th of the month. I get paid within 2 days. He goes, simple. There's no haggling. This is how much it was. Boom. That's what it is. That's what I get. He said it's also, he said, now he did say, we talked about the whole weight thing that everyone brings up, all the people who are against universal health care. He's like, yes, there are weights. But if you have, like I keep saying when people bring that up, there are weights for elective procedures. And things like MRIs and things, he said they are booked. He said, I've got patients right now that are booked out to October for MRIs. He's like, for your MRI, he goes, you probably got it quicker here than you would have in Canada, even with having to go through all the steps. He goes, you wouldn't have had to go through all the steps, but it probably would have been 9 months before you got your MRI for my knee, because it's not life-threatening. And what happens over there is, if you have a life-threatening condition, or they believe it to be life-threatening, you get bumped to the front of the fucking line, as
Which
you
is the way it
should be.
Right.
So yes, if you have a life-threatening condition, you get treatment immediately. If you have something that's not life-threatening, but is life-impacting, you're next in line. And then if you have something that's fully elective, then you got to wait.
Yeah.
Even longer.
Wait your fucking turn.
Yeah. So I'm like, that to me still isn't a bad thing.
No, I agree. Oh, this country, I swear. Love it and hate it at the same time.
But anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting hearing it from that perspective. Because I'm like, hey, wait, you know what? I can ask you about this because
yeah, for real.
I can get the scoop.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's true, Renee. You have to wait here in the U.S. for elective things too. Well, and for even non-elective things, life-impacting things, you have to wait because you have to do. Oh, well, my knee hurts. Okay, well, get an X-ray. Well, the X-ray didn't show anything. Okay, go to physical therapy for 6 weeks. Well, they don't know what the problem is. They're guessing at what the treatment would be. All right, it still hurts, and it didn't get better. Okay, now you can go get your MRI. Oh, look, I have a torn meniscus. The physical therapy I did may have made this worse.
Figures.
Yeah. Now I can go get surgery because now they know what the problem is. Whereas if you just let me get the fucking MRI at the beginning, we know what the problem was. I could do could have got the surgery, then gone to physical therapy to strengthen it back up.
Yep.
Easy
No,
peasy.
I know.
Easy peasy. I'm done in 3 months.
Yep, I dealt with that last year with them, trying to get them to let me, to get knee, get an MRI so I could get my knee looked at, and they wanted me to do 3-4 weeks of of PT first, and
Yep.
I did the PT, but then I got too busy with work, and I said fuck it, and then my knee, the pain in my knee cleared up, but I would still like to know why, what happened, because it's sure as shit gonna come back at some point. I don't know. But we
Yep.
should move
And
on.
yeah, and
This shit's getting depressing.
CD said you have to fight with insurance, and yeah, you do. Now, one of the advantages that Renee and I have, CD, is if things get really bad with the insurance company, Renee has a friend whose father's actually a doctor, and she has already told us before that if we ever need her to, she will gladly call into our insurance company and sit on the phone and scream and yell at them as like Renee, saying she's Renee, and go full Karen mode on them.
Nice.
And she can
Dr.
do it.
Karen.
Yes. She will go full on Karen mode, and Renee said she's seen her do it, and she gets them to agree to things, and then like she'll call the cable company when they have any sort of outage and get like way more than, like she'll get, like they were out for 4 hours, she'll get like 3 days worth of or even a
Credit.
week's worth of credit.
That's awesome. Gotta appreciate that shit, man.
Yeah, he just said she's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, we should move on. Over the week, or actually, what, just 2 days ago now, Pope Francis passed away.
Yeah, we lost probably in
Right after meeting with JD Vance.
yeah,
Not,
which is
not saying that it's a cause, but
a little sus.
But
Little
let's
sus.
let's just put it this way: the Dalai Lama has canceled a meeting with JD Vance. So
Look, it's just a little sus. All right. So yeah, it's kind of worrisome, but yeah, no, probably, and I don't think it's even arguably, but probably the most progressive pope in our lifetime.
yep, he
You
was
know?
still a little behind the times in certain things. I mean,
In
but
certain things, but no. We're still talking about the Pope here, man. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the most progressive Pope we've ever
Yep.
had. I mean, he did his damnedest, it seemed to me, did his damnedest to try and bring the Catholic Church into the new millennium. You know, try and he pushed for progression for and stuff, and he pushed for tolerance
Yep.
and loving thy neighbor. He divested himself of the trappings of the gold and
yeah, he wanted
elaborate
he-
trappings of
He
of
they
the
actually
Pope.
said, I was hearing today that he actually even changed the funeral rites for popes because he didn't want all of that pomp and circumstance and all the gold and everything like that. He wanted a simple
Yeah.
casket. He wanted to be buried in a simple area.
Yep. It was like he meets JD Vance and went, "Oh, I can't anymore. I just can't." And he had a stroke. And basically, you know, just he passed. He was an old guy. He was 88 years old. So I have seen some posts. An old friend of mine from like when I was in elementary school. You know, we're friends on Facebook and shit. He is devoutly Catholic. I didn't realize quite that he had become so devout in over the years. He had also like, I think something like 10 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. He had a brain thing. It wasn't I can't remember what it was called. It was stroke like. It wasn't a stroke, but it was stroke short. It's just short of one, you know, basically. And but he survived it and he's fine. And you know, he had some minor brain issues when he came out of it, but he recovered and he's recovered fine. And so I don't know if maybe that was the thing that kind of caused him to be maybe a bit more religious. But he made a post that really actually upset me to some extent because he was very like negative about Francis. Basically called him the devil. That he was and but one thing we do know about Pope Francis is that he was very divisive. He ticked off a lot of the traditionalists, a lot of the Catholic conservatives that you know, and he ticked off a lot of people. And the thing about it is he ticked them off by basically being more Jesus-like,
Yep.
by
Exactly.
basically saying,
Yeah.
"Love thy neighbor,
Yep. Renee said,
love the people."
according to Fox News, he was the most dangerous man in the world.
Right. Because he was all he wanted to do was he wanted people to care for each other. He wanted the wars in the Ukraine and Gaza to stop. One of the last statements he made before he died was, I mean, I saw this. It was compared side by side to what Donald Trump wrote for Easter.
Oh yeah.
Was basically pleading for whoever comes, because he knew he was close to death, and he was basically pleading for whoever comes next to help support the ending of hostilities in the Ukraine and in Gaza, to help, to be to fight for the rights of the underprivileged and for the minorities, the disenfranchised. If I wasn't if I hadn't already divested myself of being a Catholic and a Christian a long time ago, that would make me he would have made me stick around, you know.
He's the one that basically said, when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, he's like,
They're God's children.
welcome him in. They're God's
Yes,
children.
exactly.
Who am I to judge? Is what he said.
He was progressive about things like birth control and like at one point the thing, I don't want to read it. I don't want to pull it up and read it because it's a lot of conservative Christian rhetoric. But my friend, what he had stated, he goes, during the early days of COVID, he had stated that the Pope had advised people not to take the initial vaccines because he said that they had been made by the cells of aborted fetuses, which is not the case.
Right.
And then, but then he met with some of the like scientists and whatnot, and the doctors, the representatives of some of the companies that were making the vaccines, and he reversed himself and he changed his mind. He said that we have, as citizens of the world, to protect the people in this in our world, to take the vaccine so that we have mass immunity and stuff and whatnot. And he was demonized for that. So the guy can't get educated about something and then change his mind.
No, dude, you are
It's like,
not allowed to
dude,
change your position. You're
no,
not allowed to say, you know what? I said this. I educated myself, and now I've realized that what I said before was incorrect, and
right.
I'm changing my opinion to this because of the facts that I learned. You're
Right.
not allowed to do that.
No, apparently not. I mean, there were portions of the Catholic Church that broke off and like split during his tenure in Europe. There were certain countries that broke away from, or certain aspects of Catholicism that broke away from him because of the things that he was saying. Because he was saying be good to each other. Because he was saying take care of one another.
Well,
And
let's look at this. All the people, or a majority of the people who claim to be Christians, are not very and are really boisterous about it. Are not Christ-like at all.
oh no, no. And
Jesus,
Stella said the other day, like if Jesus were to come back to Earth and espouse if he was to come back and espouse the views that he had when he was alive, a lot of the Christians in this world would reject him.
he's a leftist lunatic.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, I don't understand how anybody that reads the Bible, and we're getting really heavy here, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but that anybody that reads the Bible and reads about the things that Christ, preached, but then would turn around and say, that gay person over there is evil and bad and wrong, and I hate him or her because they're gay, because of who they love, or that these people over here, this whole group of people over here that don't believe what I do are evil and bad and wrong because they don't believe what I do. No, Jesus was preached love thy neighbor. It was not love them,
Jesus was a
not
hippie,
not, not
man.
love them only if they were his what?
Jesus was a hippie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Peace,
And
man. Peace and love.
it's just so fucking sad, and it really is upsetting. So, and then I explained to Stella because she had espoused those things. I'm like, so many people that read the Bible, they see themselves as right, and there's no way that they could in their mind rationalize the idea that their savior would possibly have a different opinion as they do. So Jesus, of course, has got to not like the gays,
Yeah. Well,
and
it's also that they pick and choose passages and
right,
sections of passages
right,
that they want to follow.
right.
And
They,
and
yeah, and so much of that
they pick
Bible
and
is taken out
and
of
most of it
context.
is from the Old Testament.
Right,
The Old Testament and the New Testament couldn't be more different.
right.
The
So, and
Old
it's
Testament's all about punishment.
yeah.
The New Testament is all about love and forgiveness.
Did you hear the joke? Right, and they're all and the Bible has been written and rewritten so many times, and who's to say that?
Oh, but it's the
there's,
word of God. It's never been changed.
And yeah, oh yeah, you have to have faith. That was a friend of mine that said years ago. You have to have faith that the word of God would not be broken or misread because it is the word of God. But
We could do a whole
Jesus,
show on the whole life of Jesus and stuff because
right.
there's so many things. The
Well, it's
idea
like the
that
quote.
the idea that he was a rabbi, a carpenter, and not married.
That's a Jewish boy, all right. But the fact that he was, there's the scene in Good Omens where they're standing at the crucifixion, and they're, and he's like, oh, what did he do? He preached love thy neighbor, and love and peace, and preached love and peace. Oh yeah, that'll do it. But then, yeah. So Jesus is sitting at the Last Supper, and he says to his disciples, "One of you will betray me, and 4 of you will get book deals." So anyway, we should move on.
Yes.
A drink to Pope Francis.
Yep.
Never shall we see your like.
Hopefully
Never
we will.
again. Well, never again shall we see your like, but hopefully we will.
So let's move on to
Something
happier
lighter.
stuff.
Something lighter.
Yes.
Last of Us season.
That is not lighter. We can talk about Last of Us. See, we're going to only talk about episode 1. It's been out for a week. Episode 2 was this week.
And Chris hasn't seen episode 2 yet. So,
No.
but it did get spoiled for you,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it did. But
Not me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
it wasn't Russ.
me.
It was one of the assholes at work. When I got out of the meeting this morning, I heard him say it, and I went. He's like, and he said something about it. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Tyler. I haven't watched episode 2 yet. And he went, oh. I'm like, dude, it was on 2 nights ago. You can't fucking do that. Like,
Yeah.
um,
You gotta be careful as to.
but
what
the
you
first
say.
episode was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off at the beginning, like showing what happened in the past.
Yep.
Introduces us to Abby
Yes.
and the other fireflies, the surviving fireflies.
Yep. Yeah, and it shows that right after the massacre at the hospital and their reactions, and you really just see like her dedication to her father. I think it goes way beyond just being the daughter of a brilliant doctor, and one of the few probably doctors that still existed of his type at that point, because she was truly like, I mean, I think she worshipped her father. I think it goes beyond just a father-daughter, loving relationship. It was like she really, truly, I mean, he was a good man from what you can, if you see in the game, there's flashbacks and stuff, because there's a lot of flashbacks in the game. And I think we're going to see a lot of flashbacks in this season and in season 3 too, because they have said that season 2 is only going to go, to about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
In fact, I looked on the IMDb and it said that the characters appear in 16 episodes, I think it is. Bella Thorne, she appears in 16 episodes, which there were 9 episodes in the first season. And that's only 7 episodes for season 2, if that's the case. Now, IMDb gets things wrong sometimes when
Yeah,
it
they
comes
don't
to
always have all of them out there.
right, exactly. So who knows? But anyway, there are a lot of flashbacks, and you just see in the flashbacks that this man, this doctor that Joel killed, was not a bad person. He was doing what he thought.
According to Google, there are only going to be 7.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, that means probably season 3 will probably also be equitable. It'll probably be like 7 or 8 episodes to finish it off. So anyway, yeah, it showed that, he was a good person that was doing what he thought was best for the world, which would have been killing Ellie, basically lobotomizing her so that they could get to the cordyceps that were in her brain so they could potentially create an antifungal, cure, or some sort of cure. And it just, he was, Joel made a decision. That was, and it's one of those things we're seeing in the post, like after each episode, there's been making of, there's like 5 to 10 minutes of making of stuff. And you're seeing that the thing about The Last of Us, and honestly, when it comes to a lot of a post-apocalyptic or zombie type shows and movies, that there isn't so much villains. I mean, sometimes there are straight up villains, but quite often it's really a matter of perspective. And that's a lot of what we see when it comes to the Abby versus Ellie kind of conflict. Was Joel the villain? Was he the good guy? Was he the villain? Was this doctor the villain? I mean, it really comes down to, what your perspective
I would say
is.
what your perspective is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they show them living in
Jackson.
In the town in Wyoming, and they show Ellie and how she's grown, and she's very much a hunter.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, she's 19.
Yep.
It's 5 years later. It also shows like, Abby and Ellie are actually are quite, I mean, when Abby, when her father was killed, she was 19. So now she's like 24. Ellie is 19. And what I was going to say too is when it comes, Abby is also able to basically recruit her friends, her unit, into her revenge plot. And but anyways, you're seeing them living. Apparently, Joel he's risen up the ranks and of the city, and he's more than just because Tommy. It helps. His brother is married to one of the women that runs the city, but
the council.
Yeah, the council and stuff.
Those brothers on the council too.
Right. Yeah, but Joel is one of the guys he's one of the city planners. He's helping because of his construction background. He's able to help them, rebuild and work on, fixing up the houses and the towns because they got more people coming all the time. You got refugees from other parts and whatnot.
Other towns that get destroyed or attacked, and the survivors make it out.
Right. Exactly. Now, my guess, and we did see it in the game and stuff, like there are other, strongholds. There are other, walled cities, whatever.
Well, I mean, they came.
There
from
has
one
to be.
They came from one in the first one. I mean,
Right.
they left a walled city in the first one. It was much more of a militant walled city.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and it got essentially destroyed by a raging, onslaught of the infected. But you don't,
Was the
so you
original
kind of.
city one of those? I know one of the other cities they go to. One of the towns they go to did.
Well,
The ones that
the original city was a bigger city. I can't remember. I think it was an East Coast city like Baltimore or something like that.
Boston. It was Boston.
Or Boston, yeah.
Yeah,
And
they wind up going to Boston. It was out in the East Coast though, yeah. Because they go to Boston, and that's where the one chick dies. She gets bit and she sacrifices herself. That's in Boston.
But there is a larger town that they're in, that they've created, basically a protected area. And, and they've got smugglers that come in and out, that sneak in and out, sneak things in and out and stuff. There is some sort of makeshift government that's trying to keep things, running, and where they've got their scanner technology, they've got different things like that we saw in the first season. And it's so there is some kind of
So the Joel is originally in Austin, Texas.
originally, yeah,
Yes.
when they first showed at the
And-
very beginning. But then but that's the thing. It goes
After the prologue, the main game shifts to Boston.
right, and it's 20 years later, because that's the thing. They've been dealing with this for like 25 years. You've got an entire generation
Yep.
of people, if not a second generation, that have never known not having
Well,
this,
that's the thing.
the
Ellie,
cordyceps
Ellie was born after
after
after the infection started.
right. She has never lived without it.
Yep.
Which is why she was like, when they do like go to the mall and they see the various in the flashback and everything, where she initially gets bit actually, and playing the video games and stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff in that mall she just kind of heard about. The book, a lot of the things that people like Joel kind of took for granted was all stuff that they had never seen before.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that I did find to be kind of cool, is like when the prologue happens and like you see Joel's daughter get shot and stuff at the beginning of the show. You saw like they did pretty good set dressing, because it took place about 20 years ago. There's still tube TVs. There were still,
2013 is when that was supposed to take place.
Okay. So there was still, the cell phones were still flip phones and stuff at the time, or various different things. I think there were some screen phones at that, flat, these kind of phones but yeah, it's just the technology was very dated, so anyway, but they did a good job progressing that and stuff. What's one of the things I've loved about the show is the design element, and like how they've been able to kind of really capture the time and stuff. But I did like the city, like showing how Jackson, Wyoming has been, they've done a good job building it up. You could see the walls and the guards that are going around it, because that's the thing. In this kind of situation, it's not just the infected that you have to worry about. It's raiders and just other humans that are looking to profit from this situation. Because you got to know, there are probably some other settlements out there. Because like I said, they encountered the one settlement that was, the walled-in city that the one girl, Linsky, was, she was like the leader. But they also encountered that town where that Joel had to rescue her from, that was eating people. Mm-hmm. The cannibal town. You got to know, there's probably some Mad Max shit out there too.
Oh, yeah.
There's some.
It was the same in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of different towns. Although
Yeah.
in Walking Dead, it was even darker. I think
Sure.
There
Yeah.
were a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
more of the nasty towns than there were the nice towns.
Well, if anything, in The Walking Dead, in The Last of Us,
Yes,
the infected
CD's
are
right. It's humans versus humans more than zombies.
right. Exactly. It's almost always humans versus humans. In The Last of Us, the infected are definitely still a problem that they are dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
In The Walking Dead, the zombies or the walkers are really just kind of, at that point, they're kind of the same as like the weather, to some extent, because
Got a cloud of zombies moving through.
yeah, or you just you get
Or
a
a storm
horrible
of
snowstorm.
zombies.
Yeah. It's just, it's very destructive and deadly, but the zombie plague, it could be something else. It could have been something else that it doesn't have to be zombies. It's the element. It's something that creates the conflict that the humans have to strive against. And and with The Walking Dead, that's very much the case. The sure, it's an issue, it's a thing, it's a problem, but the bigger problem are the other humans, like the governor and Negan, and things like that. And a herd. Thank you, the herd of zombies. But yeah, you're gonna see upcoming, some stuff too that is basically talking about what I'm talking about. So I did like the fact that they definitely progressed the story. I mean, Joel is he's 50 years, or Pedro Pascal is 50 years old, and they did a pretty damn good job of making him give or take 10 to 12 years older than he is, but still looks pretty good for a guy his age in this show too.
Yeah,
Because,
he seems to have aged more than 5 years in the 5 years.
yeah, well.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching it continue. Though I mean,
And
it is still a good show.
We see in the first episode too. We see a cool kind of cameo that, not a cameo. I mean, she's in a few episodes, but Catherine from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. Thank you. Yeah, she plays the town psychiatrist, or psychologist. Actually,
Yeah.
She's not a psychiatrist. She talks about that. But she goes to Joel goes to her because she's going to therapy, and it's interesting too because to pay her, he gives her some weed,
Yeah.
and
She's like,
and
what
you
am I
can
back in
see-
high school? It's all stems and
yeah. And but she said that she said, okay, payment accepted. But it goes to show that they don't really have money.
yeah.
It's a barter system. There is some, and it's a very sociological, almost communism, socialism / communism kind of living state there because people have to contribute, and the people that can contribute, like somebody who has training as a therapist.
By the way, that was a big ass bag of weed that he gave
It
her.
was a
too.
pretty good sized bag of weed. But somebody who it shows that a person's skill set could really come in handy. She's a therapist. People are going to be going through some pretty horrible experiences in this setting. They're going to need somebody to talk to, somebody that knows how to shrink your brain. Just like when Joel is trying to fix one of the circuit breakers, and he goes, one girl, Dina.
I don't remember her name yet.
Yeah,
I
and
haven't
she
learned her
goes-
yet.
But she asks him, "Hey, well, teach me. How do I, she wants to learn because the more somebody learns, the more they know, the more valuable they are. So if you can prove that you're better, that you can do more than shovel shit, then you're going to get the sweet ass jobs.
Yep.
Somebody like myself, I'd be
Knowledge is
fucked.
power.
I mean, do they need shit? Do you need people to decorate shit? Because, I mean, I could weave a tale. I'm pretty good at telling a story. But, let's see. That is Isabel Merced.
Renee said, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. And Isabel Merced plays Dina. And she's
True. She said, I'm making alcohol.
Exactly. No, it's funny. I made that point. It's like somebody that knows how to brew beer or distill some kind of alcohol, some kind of whiskey or whatever would be extremely valuable. They'd be rich because they would have a product that they could trade. Like I said, somebody like myself, I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of skill sets, but I mean, they're artists. Artists are what?
Oh, Jeepo said, you can gather the berries, Russ.
Oh, yeah, I'll gather the berries. And you can hunt with your bow and arrow, Jeepo. Thank you very much. Bathtub gin. But no, I mean, I got skill sets. I mean, I can swing a hammer. I know stuff. I know how to build things and stuff like that. But I'd be in the middle. I wouldn't be one of these guys, running shit. I'd be a middle management kind of dude. Well, if anything,
Dude,
maybe I could be a manager, but
my computer skills are fucking useless.
useless, almost useless. but your brewing skills would come in handy and things like that, you know. But yeah, I know how to build stuff, and I do know how to run things. I'm actually a pretty decent like leader slash organizer. So maybe those skills would come in handy. I can cook a little bit.
I can cook a
I
little. I
have
got some project management skills.
yeah, and things like that. But my true skills, the things that I'm probably best known for, my artistic skills, would not be as valuable, at least not at the beginning.
CD.
All that hoarding of hard copies paid off. Fucking A right, dude.
You'll have a
Actually.
DVD rental place.
So yeah, all of my books
But
and
you need
my
to have electricity though.
well, we would
That's
have to have electricity, which Jackson does have. You know, it's even remarked about in the second issue or second episode. But
which we're not
yeah,
talking about yet.
which we're not talking about. No, but yeah, it's one of those things that I like picking the shit apart a little bit. You know, I mean, because it's
Oh,
kind of
CD said
fascinating.
you can paint camouflage.
I could. Wait, you know that is one thing. I could find a way to make my skill set be valuable, you know? And that yeah, painting
But
things
yes,
camel.
so I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes and where it goes from there. So we should move on though.
Second episode is amazing. It really is great. It's just like I can entertain them all. Yeah. When the strip club opens,
Yeah.
I got you, boo.
So one of the other things that just happened was Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
Just happened, and there were a bunch of announcements.
I've avoided a lot of the stuff about that mainly because I know you were going to talk about it. So
Yeah,
please go for it.
One of the biggest announcements was a new Star Wars movie called Starfighter that will be starring Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. That comes. That's supposed to be in theaters May 28th, 2027.
Now, have they expressed anything what it's going to be about? Is it actually going to
It's gonna be
be
about a starfighter.
well, sure,
No,
but
but
are we going further afield from the Skywalker saga? Is this going to be what is the era it's going to take place in? Do we know?
that I haven't seen. They just basically, let's see, it just basically announced that it's coming out. They showed like a poster, and it says director Sean Levy and surprise guest and star Ryan Gosling announced the title of the next Star Wars theatrical film to go into production. That's it. They also did a whole thing on speaking of movies, Mandalorian and Grogu, which comes out May 22nd of next year. So just over a year from now, we'll get Mandalorian.
I hate the
and
name.
Grogu. I do
I
too.
hate the name.
I hate the name.
I'm hoping that hopefully they'll change the name or something.
Yeah, that I don't think they're going to, but they also announced a new video game that's going to come out next year called Star Wars Zero Company. It is a single-player turn-based tactics game.
Oh, okay.
Looks interesting, and that's the thing. They only showed like some like a short video on it, and I watched it, and I'm like, that looks like it's going to be turn-based. And sure enough, I read about it today, and it said it's a turn-based game.
Okay.
So you're basically a group of like 5 people. It's like there's like one Jedi, one Mandalorian, one trooper, one. It's like a whole mix of different types. Oh, and of course there's a droid in there.
There always a droid.
Yes. And then other than that, I mean, it was a lot of updates. Like there's something new coming to the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Star Wars Edge Galaxies coming. They did some announcements for the new show, the upcoming shows, some of the animated shows. Like they're expanding the next version of Visions, the next like version of the Visions show. They also Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord is coming out as well. That's going to be the next show, one of the new shows on Disney Plus. They also announced some new manga / graphic novels. They're going to actually cover Timothy Zahn's Star Wars Thrawn book in graphic novel form. as well as the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There's some new figures, some new Star Wars figs, a new expansion for Star Wars Outlaws. It's going to be called Star Wars A Pirate's Fortune, where they're actually going to bring in Kay and Nix are going to join up with Handu Onaka, who is known, if you've watched Clone Wars, you know him.
Okay.
There's some new Lego stuff. There's a Monopoly Go Star Wars version. They're doing a whole Minecraft thing. They got like 3 months worth of Minecraft releases or something like that.
Wow.
Star Wars The Old Republic had a short feature that looked back at the game over the last 13 years, and they're still going. I'm sorry, it's a 5-part Star Wars Fortnite collaboration. Fortnite Galactic Battle, which launches May 2nd. And it says Darth Jar Jar enters the Star Wars Fortnite universe, where players will experience new Star Wars gameplay every week through early June.
Jesus, Darth Jar Jar.
But yeah, so I mean, it was a lot of stuff. The big things were the announcement of the game, the Zero Company game, and the Starfighter movie. So we'll see where things go from there. They had an Andor panel, and the stars of Andor said they cannot wait for people to watch the first 3 episodes.
That's right. Tonight is actually, I believe, the premiere of Andor, the first section of Andor.
The first 3 episodes dropped today. So I can't wait to watch it. I am really looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the first season of Andor. And my plan is, when Andor finishes, I am going to watch Rogue One. As soon as I get done watching the last episode of Andor, I want to watch Rogue One. Because that's what they've said, is it leads right into it. So, but yeah. So that's most of what I had for that.
Alrighty. A lot of stuff, man. Some really cool shit. I'm excited. I'm really excited, actually. The Star Wars stuff that is coming down the pipe really looks really fucking cool.
Yeah. CD, if you're into the animated stuff, if you haven't heard, Star Wars Underworld, it will be coming out soon. I don't know when I think it comes out sometime in May. And it's going to be stories about Ventress and Cad Bane, things like that. I thought it was going to be a series about them, but what it is, I guess, is it's shorts. So I'm a little less thrilled, but I was really happy to see more Ventress. And it's supposed to be Ventress after Bad Batch. So it's her more as the Grey Jedi. And yeah, we're actually going to see like the origin story of Cad Bane, which is kind of cool too. So I like both those characters.
I forgot to mention, just real backtrack here. Isabella Merced, who plays Dina on in Last of Us, is actually also playing Hawk Girl in Superman Lives.
They actually saw a thing, and they showed like everything she's playing, and it's like a shit ton of characters.
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
in a shit ton of stuff. It's wild because this show is really giving a lot of people some really serious like some up and coming actors and actresses, some very like a lot of work. You know, Caitlin Dever, who's playing Abby, is like one of the top young actresses in her age group right now. And same thing with Bella Ramsey. Did I say Bella Knox earlier? Bella Ramsey. So anyway, but I didn't mean to backtrack. I just wanted to say this.
All right. What you got? 'Cause I got one more thing, but actually I got a couple things. I know one of the things you had that we both had.
Right. Well, a couple of things. One, I mentioned how I finished playing Spider-Man 2 the other day. I wanted to put in a game that's been sitting on my shelf for a while that I knew was not going to take me weeks and weeks to beat. So I installed
Stardew Valley?
No, that will take weeks and weeks to beat. Months. from what I understand, and that's not my jam. Um, I installed the Star Trek Resurgence game on my PlayStation 5, and it was fun. It takes place post next gen, post like Riker is the captain of the Titan, but he's not an older guy. It's probably maybe 5 years after Voyager has come home.
Hmm.
So a couple years after Voyager's come home or whatever.
So about
Um,
the lower decks timeline.
Give or take, yeah. But and the interesting thing is, when they made this game, they must have made this game with the lower decks in mind because you play two different characters. You do play a bridge character. You play you play the new first officer aboard the starship, and it's the Resolute, the Starship Resolute. And then you also play a lower deck engineer, a petty officer engineer. And so there are different times you switch between these two characters. And the cool thing is that each like chapter of the game is got a title like where they show the title of the episode of Next Gen. And so it's just a really cool story. It was very Telltale Games kind of storytelling. It's not a heavy action game per se. There are times when you have to get in phaser fights and things like that. But they do a deep dive on. But that's the thing when you're playing a petty officer. They talk about well, we're down in the lower decks and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. And they do a deep dive on Star Trek lore, and they bring in lore from Star Trek: The Next Generation from like season 4 or something like that. So yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff.
So they bring in
And
lore from Star Trek Next Generation.
no, they do not bring in lore. It's not data. It's not lore. But yeah, so it's a pretty. It was a fun game. It was a little stiff, because when I just got done playing, fucking Skyrim and Spider-Man, so where the characters are all very smooth and everything, and I gotta say that the characters are kind of stiff, but still pretty fun. Spock is a character in the game, and they got a guy to
Wait, but
approximate.
Spock died in Next Gen. I thought.
No, no. Spock died in the movies with Chris Pine.
Oh, okay. I thought he died in Next Gen too.
No, they brought him back and like
I know they brought
I
him
mean
back, but I thought he had passed away because it was
no,
when
his father died. Sarek
I know
died.
I know Sarek died.
No, Spock was in 2 episodes, the reunification episodes, and then
Yeah.
it was like the finale of one season and the opener of the next. And he was Ambassador Spock. But yeah, they got a guy to do a really good Leonard Nimoy impression, and it was pretty cool. I got to admit, I enjoyed the game. It only took me a couple of nights of playing. Maybe I don't know. There's maybe a total of 12 to 15 hours of gameplay, but it was fun. It was an enjoyable relatively enjoyable experience, and do recommend if you get the chance. But I would recommend getting the game on sale if you can. Don't pay full price. I think I got mine was on sale. If you'd like, Chris, we'd be happy to loan it to you because it was well worth it. So that was one. Go and check that out if you can. Let's see. They just announced today that the fantasy novel series and now television show The Wheel of Time will be getting a AAA open world RPG. They're going to be working on that. The
Oh, that could be
original,
cool.
yeah, the original Lord of the Rings Online lead developer is Iwat Studios head. Robert Jordan's beloved fantasy novel series The Wheel of Time is getting a AAA open world RPG from the original blah blah blah. lead Craig Alexander. According to a press release, Alexander will lead development on the Wheel of Time RPG as studio head at Montreal-based iWatt Studios. The game will be iWatt's debut title. So there's very little detail, if any. They're looking at a potential 2028 release window on PC and consoles. So we'll see. It's currently got an 88% Rotten Tomatoes score, the TV series, so people are pretty excited. We also have news. Grant Morrison, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time, is going to be returning to Batman. He had revealed that he was going to be working for the Big Two again, and he finally revealed that it's a DC project, and he's going to be working on Batman. He revolutionized the modern portrayal of the character, bringing in his son Damian, reintroducing long-lost sci-fi style elements of Batman's Silver Age era, and even apparently killing Batman in the story Batman R.I.P. He was technically displaced in time. While Bruce Wayne was out of the picture, Morrison elevated Dick Grayson from Nightwing into the role of Batman, and he brought Bruce's son Damian Wayne on as Grayson's own Robin, introducing an exciting new dynamic where Grayson himself, the original Robin, was a more upbeat Batman with Damian Wayne's brooding boy wonder in tow. It was actually pretty fun era. So he's coming back to comics, and he hasn't revealed exactly what the Batman project will be, but people are looking forward to it. It should be cool. Also, after 30 years, Marvel is reviving its 90s style swimsuit special, showing off superhero beach bods and some hot new Marvel Rivals skins. And they're going retro hot for its first swimsuit special since 1995. The cool thing is, I bought these, man. They were fun. The swimsuit specials were, yeah, they were just they were like a book. Just there were several books. I think they did like maybe 3 of them, and they were just pinup books. They were just the various superheroes and supervillains.
Not just the ladies, by the way.
No, not just the ladies. The guys
I remember
too.
Bishop being in one. It just
Sure, Bishop, Thor, Captain America, Cyclops. I mean, tons of them. Colossus, Wolverine, of course. And they were very tongue in cheek. They were very silly, and it wasn't just them. You know, they were all, you know, they were in bathing suits and stuff and sunning themselves on beaches or whatever.
I remember Rogue.
Oh yeah, no, there's some top-notch
Rogue and
pinup
Mary
art.
Jane. Whew.
Sure. There's some really top-notch pinup art. Some really high, some of the top artists in the industry, were a part of these. As if the promise of some fun in the sun and superhero swimwear isn't enough to bring you in, the new one-shot, officially titled Marvel Swimsuit Special Friends, Foes, and Rivals -- will also debut some steamy new skins coming to smash hit hero shooter game Marvel Rivals, which I haven't played yet. The comic, which is largely a pinup gallery, will feature contributions from artists Nick Klein, Marguerite Sauvage, Luciano Vecchio, and more. There's a gallery of covers, including Wraparound Avengers cover by Adam Hughes and variants by Mark Brooks, Taryn Clark, and Russell Dauterman that will feature Marvel heroes in their swimmers. So it looks like it's going to be just fun and silly. But you kind of got to keep an open mind about these, because it is one of those like, are we objectifying or are we not? But the thing is ultimately it's just fun art, guys. That's all.
Dude,
you know.
It's a bunch of people that wear tights.
Right, exactly. I mean, these are superheroes for the most part. A lot of them wear skin-tight outfits to start with. This is not that different from what they're already wearing.
They instead of coloring it green, they color it flesh tone. That's the only difference. The lines are all the same.
Yeah, it was pretty silly stuff. Marvel's returning to that well. Okay, so they're basically making it out that Roxxon, the oil company, is producing it. You know, so the evil mega corporation. So it's really silly, and it's going to be on sale July 9th.
And Renee said they're fictional characters.
Yes, and they are fictional characters. It's fine.
Oh, and Ojibwe said the Wednesday teaser on Netflix tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Very cool. Wednesday, teaser on Netflix. Cool. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Abundant proportions. You're correct, CD. There are abundant proportions. So anyway, it does look funny. I am excited for it. I'll probably pick it up. July 9th. That one goes on sale. Let's see. I think I had one more thing before. Lastly, before we get into our last little thing here, the first reactions to the.
I got two
You
more
got two
things.
things. The first reactions to the Thunderbolts movie have been exceedingly positive. They call the new Marvel movie raw and deeply human. They're praising Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan.
So,
Yeah, the
well,
audiences are calling the new Marvel movie one of the best yet.
did you see that Florence Pugh had arguments with the like director, studio, whatever?
Yeah,
About
because of
because of the stunt where
the
where she
stunt,
jumps off the second tallest building in the world, and she's like, "You
Yeah.
can't use a stunt woman for that. I need to do it." And they're like, "No, we absolutely can.
Yeah,
You are not doing it." And
you are not insured. But yeah, it
I'm
says,
pretty sure she did it.
I think she did. She did, absolutely. The latest MCU team up features fan favorite characters like Bucky Barnes and Yelena as a titular group of anti-heroes is forced into a dangerous mission that could bring them all redemption just as long as they manage to work together. It has been shown to both fans and to critics, and it's been getting like really, really great positive reviews. Real quick, Thunderbolts is raw, hilarious, and deeply human in its bold dive into trauma, healing, and redemption. One person braved proof that even the so-called defective losers and disposable delinquents can rise above their past and become the heroes no one expected. It's gritty, emotional, and like anything Marvel has done before, a must-see story that hits where it hurts and heals where it matters. Thunderbolts takes the Marvel Cinematic Universe into a world of independent cinema. It is unlike any product that's came before, one fan wrote. Florence Pugh gives a performance worthy of an Oscar. The MCU is finally back and better than ever. Stay till the end for something magnetic.
Gee, thanks for spoiling the post credit scene.
We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? All right. Thunderbolts is in many ways different from other MCU films that have come before it, and the freshness couldn't have arrived at a more opportune time when the franchise is in need of new blood and new direction, which I can agree with that.
Yes.
It's some of Marvel's darkest material to date, dealing with the emotional wreckage of broken individuals grappling with their past choices and finding camaraderie amidst the emptiness of their lives. This may be a team-up film, but it very much belongs to Florence Pugh, who carries much of the dramatic weight of the movie on her back, with Lewis Pullman delivers a complex performance as a sympathetic character at war with himself. I'm not going to read the rest of them, but I did also see they released basically the Red Guardian's commercial for his business. Did you see that online?
No, I have not. I'll have to look that up.
It's like a poorly filmed internet commercial because he has a limo service where he has two cars, and he's Red Guardian limo service. We'll take you out wherever you want. We do specialty funerals. We do regular funerals. We take you out. We'll do school pickups. It's fucking funny, dude. And he's just like, he's terrible, because it shows him he'll flash to he's wearing his uniform, and then he's in a suit. He's in a chauffeur's uniform, and stuff. So, I think that's probably what he's probably doing when he's not trying to be a superhero. So yeah, May 2nd. I don't know. Depending on what's going on, maybe Chris and I can go and see it. And on May 2nd,
no,
which is
I will be at the
second
Club.
is right. The second is a Friday. If we can maybe see the night before
maybe
or something.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night. We'll have to take a look. But it does. Hey, things are looking up. That's a pretty great sign. Go ahead. Your last two things.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up my calendar. I'm just looking real quick to make sure. Yes, I am open on the first.
Okay.
Renee comes home. Well, actually, Renee will be gone that day, but I can go out for a little bit. So one of the things that I've got is Elder Scrolls 4 remastered,
Yes.
Oblivion remastered.
Correct.
Is now out.
Yes. It is currently downloading onto my PlayStation 5. I didn't waste any fucking time.
For all of the people who were bored with playing Skyrim over and over and over again, now you can play the game that came before it over and over and over again.
Right. That has now been fully remastered for current systems.
Yes, and supposedly it's been up. The game engine has been upgraded. And,
they use the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Unreal Engine 5.
Yep, it looks good. Now, one of the things I did pull it up on Steam and I was looking at it because Oblivion is one I didn't play. I played Morrowind, and then I've played Skyrim now. But I missed Oblivion.
Right.
I remember it coming out, and I remember wanting to play it because I loved Morrowind. Well, I both loved and hated Morrowind. And I wanted to check out Oblivion, but I never got around to it.
Right.
And so looking at it, I started watching the trailer video of it, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's Patrick Stewart. What the fuck?
Patrick
And I
fucking
looked
Stewart.
up, and sure enough, he's the Emperor in.
He's the Emperor. Yeah. He's
in
only in
4.
the beginning. Yeah. Pretty much just at the beginning. But yeah, see, now I did play Oblivion a little bit on my PlayStation 3 back in the day. But I got to admit, and I got it and played it on the recommendation of a lot of fantasy fans and friends that I knew that were playing it. And they were like, oh, you'll love it. You'll get, because I knew a lot of people that were just getting lost in it. Because, that's the thing about Bethesda games is that they're pretty addictive. And I picked it up and I started playing it, and I got to admit, it didn't grab me. I was like, and I played Daggerfall and I played Morrowind back in the day.
I played both of those, actually. I played Daggerwind and Morrowind.
Yeah, on friends'
Daggerfall and
computers,
Morrowind.
because I didn't have them on systems that, I didn't play on
I
systems.
played both those on my computer.
Right. I think Daggerfall on a friend's computer. I might have played Morrowind on like a roommate's computer or something at the time. But and I enjoyed those as far as I played them. Skyrim was the first Bethesda, the first Bethesda game that I truly embraced, like love, and I still do. As I evidenced by, my January and February of gameplay, in March. But the I tried Oblivion, and it just didn't grab me. I think one of the things that bugged me was the main thing, really, was the fact that once you accept a quest, there's no quest marker on the map. And you had to find it.
Yeah, that was the same thing with Morrowind, and that's what was so frustrating.
Right.
Morrowind was one of the first really open world games.
Right.
And
it was.
It would be like, okay, you got a quest, go figure it out. And I would wander fields for hours, and I'm like, fuck it, and I would rage quit.
Right, yeah, because there was no guy. The only way that, you could maybe find certain things by talking to some of the people in the villages and towns.
Well, you had to find other fucking village.
Right, yes, but looking at, you could see, like, there were signposts. You could maybe see, okay, there's a signpost that says the village of so-and-so is this way,
but if
or
you
maybe
wander off
a
into
dungeon
field,
or a castle.
you get lost easy.
You get lost easy. You had no idea. So I was like, I'm wandering around, and I think when I bought it too, I had the like Game of the Year edition, which had the two expansions, the Shivering Isles and whatever. And so, but yeah, I was like, I don't know where the fuck to go. How am I supposed to do these missions and play this game if I don't have any guidance whatsoever? So from what I understand, though, they have taken a lot of pages from Skyrim, and so my guessing is that there will be map markers in this game, because if there's not,
me know, because if there ain't, there's no way I'm downloading that. Not at $40 or at $50 for the regular version and $60 for the deluxe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just paid for the deluxe. It was $63 with tax. So. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't generally I was actually surprised it was even going to be on the PlayStation 5, because Bethesda is a Microsoft-owned game, or Microsoft-owned system. I was like, or company. I was like, that's probably just PC and Xbox, but nope, PS5 too. So that gives me hope and faith that we'll be seeing Starfield soon on the PS5, and hopefully in a couple years, when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, we'll see it on the PlayStation.
This is really just them trying to hold people over until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
It is. And, they are saying, and I've been hearing, because they are, Todd Howard has been saying a little bit more about Elder Scrolls 6, Elder Scrolls 6, that they're doing their best to create a game that will probably redefine open world RPGs for the next generation. Now it is scheduled to come out on current systems. I guess their plan is still to release it within the window of PlayStation 5 and the current Xbox. But they're also saying it'll probably come close to the next generation as well. So there will probably be, a follow up for the next generation of consoles. So the PS6 and whatever else comes after that. I don't care. I just want it. Can I have it? Can we have it? I just want it. I just want to have this game. It's supposed to be there. Also, the expectation is that the game is going to be fucking massive, like absolutely huge. Skyrim itself is a pretty goddamn big game. They're saying that Elder Scrolls 6 will be probably three times the size of Skyrim. Now, apparently, one of the things they had said about Elder Scrolls Remastered, or the Oblivion Remastered, it is 124 gigabytes. It's taking quite a bit of time to download. I mean, it only needed apparently the first 25 gigabytes to start play, but it's you could fit. I think it said 27 of the original Oblivions in this Oblivion. I think is what it had said. But the initial reactions are very positive. And they kept the same dialogue. Like I said, everything's been remastered to some extent, but the dialogue has been kept. Even like some of the silly things that they say, that they talk about. I like the different what the different characters say, like, "You have broken the law," cheese for everyone. Yeah, shit like that. Some of these iconic things that some of the characters say, they've kept in the game because Todd Howard he said, he confirms Bethesda is working on the 6th chapter. Yes, the Elder Scrolls 6, but for now it's all Oblivion. We want people to feel the way they did then, because that's the thing. Apparently, Oblivion was to use a common phrase. It was a game changer when it came to open world gaming, and it was a huge deal. So hopefully we'll see this really, a really great game. I probably won't start. Yeah, Chunky. It can fit roughly 27 of the 09's Oblivion Game of the Year edition inside it. Now they originally came out in 06, and I'm pretty sure I bought the 09 Game of the Year edition. So for my PlayStation.
Yeah. So the other thing, still staying on the video game trend here, Baldur's Gate 3's patch 8 came out last Tuesday.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet. How's it?
I have. I even started a new game.
Okay.
So I've only kind of scratched the surface right now. I'm like the one thing I really wanted to check out was the Path of the Giants Barbarian. And I actually saw a video where, I mean, dude, by the weekend there were already multiple videos up of people who had finished the game multiple times with like each of the different new builds.
Wow.
And
that was something else I was going to mention. The Elder Scrolls Obsidian, the Oblivion is already the top selling game. It released today, and it is the top selling game on Steam already. But you were saying there's already people.
Yeah, so there's already there are already people talking about how to best build characters and things like that. Like there's a 38-minute video, I think it was, on just building the Path of the Giant and the gear the best gear. Synergy and stuff with that. So, but anyway, so I actually did something because I wanted to try the Path of the Giants. I'm like, you know what? I want to start it from the beginning and just see how it plays rather than just jump in. Like I could go into one of my other games and just go to Withers and say, I want to change, help me change my class.
Right.
And just rebuild them with whatever the new classes were. But I've tried the Path of the Barbarian, Path of the Giants, and the Death Cleric. I actually made Shadowheart a Death Cleric. What's that?
Okay. Oh, you made Yeah,
I made Shadowheart a Death Cleric.
Okay. Cool.
And I was unimpressed, and she's now a Life Cleric again.
So you just changed her back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I actually started a new game and played Karlach as the main character.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to do that too. I want to see, what their storylines are like. And I'll tell you what, this has actually been really cool because
Cool.
one, you don't meet Karlach till later. So, and I
Right.
wanted to see, I'm like, okay, well, when you go save the village from the goblins and you meet Will for the first time, who's hunting Karlach, how's that work? Really cool interaction.
Okay.
And but anyway, so I'm playing that, and yeah, the interaction with him, it's basically he gets all pissy. He's like you, and you recognize him from chasing you and stuff, and he basically dismisses you. He doesn't join you when you first meet him.
Really?
Yeah, he sneaks into your camp the next time that you do a long rest to try and
Okay.
kill Karlach, and that's when you can talk to him and get him to join your group.
I see. Cool. Cool. All right.
So it's kind of cool. Now I'm like, well, I want to know. One of the things I want to see is what if you play Lizelle? Because she comes in and joins you on the Nautiloid.
Right. Yeah.
So if you play Lizelle, do you just not get a companion other than Shadowheart? I'm like, that would make it tough.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It has been something that I've been wanting to do too. I think, that's the thing though. I'm playing so many games. I can't just keep playing over and over
Right.
again the same game. But I do, like, I've played one full playthrough, and then I've played like maybe a third of a playthrough like twice, and I'm probably gonna start over again because I really want to see. I want to see what this latest, mod, this latest patch has done
By the way,
to the
did you
game.
watch the video, the animated short video for the ad for it? For patch 8?
No, I did not. I don't
I think
think I did.
I posted. I think I posted it. If I didn't, I need to because I think I posted. I thought I posted it on the Nerds page, but maybe not. Oh, I guess I didn't. Shit, I meant to. I'll find it and I'll post it in the Nerd Basement, dude. It is so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Okay.
But anyway, so
I think I remember you mentioning it. It was
yeah.
really, really fun.
yeah, with the Path of the Giants. I might have sent it to you. I thought I did something where, but anyway,
It sounds familiar. You might have sent
Yeah.
it to me, and I think I might have forgotten about to check it out.
nope. I'm looking back at our chats, and nope, I did not.
Okay.
Um,
But I do remember you mentioning it. So.
yeah, did I put it in here? Nope, didn't put it in here either. Anyway, the Path of the Giants is honestly cool as hell. You when you rage, you get bigger.
Oh, cool.
You
Cool.
you actually do become like a giant.
You do enlarge.
You do enlarge. I am doing the throwing barbarian, so I've got the ring of flinging. I've got a caustic band, so I can add some acid damage. I've got the returning pike right now, so
Wait, the throwing. So you're like when you pick up and just throw things, throw
yeah,
people,
or
throw things
throw
at
throw
people?
weapons.
You got to be careful if you're going to pick up bad guys and throw them, because if they fly too far away, you might lose an item that they have on them.
Well, and that's one of the things. Well, one of the things they also added a new animation for that is if you're
Okay.
raging and you're a giant, they actually have a suplex move
Oh, cool.
where you actually pick them up and actually suplex them backwards. But you still
have
throw
heard
'em.
that. I have heard that there are a number of cool new animations and stuff, and I
but-
do like the fact that each time they've updated the game, they do some really cool. They're adding a lot of new graphics and new different, tweaking how the weapons look and some of the other things look. The graphics tweaks have been pretty great.
Yeah, and you know what, Ojipo, it is an amazing game. And yeah, CD, I think you guys would both love it. But anyway, I'm only 4th level right now with Karlach. And they basically the one video I saw said basically you're just a kind of a mini berserker barbarian until you hit 6th level. 6th level is where you get your signature things for the Path of the Giant. And
Okay.
that's where you can apply, when you rage, you get to apply an elemental effect. And it can be basically any of the elements, including fire, cold, thunder, lightning, acid.
Okay.
There might be one more. Anyway, so you can apply one of those, and what it is it applies to your weapon, and it makes every single weapon a returning weapon.
Say that again?
It makes every weapon a returning weapon.
Jesus Christ. So you throw a greatsword at somebody, it
Yep.
returns to your hand?
Yep. You can use you can throw a greatsword. You can throw a hammer. You can throw whatever. You don't need the returning pike anymore.
Wow. All right, Thor.
Yeah. And so they say, and they found out through doing the math in the game and analyzing the damage that it does, that the game actually takes the height that you're at versus your opponent's height if you're throwing down, and the weight of the weapon to add additional damage if you throw it at them when they're lower.
Okay.
So, like, if you have a 9-kilo hammer,
Yeah.
it will do more damage than a 6-kilo sword if you throw it, even if they have the same damage indicator, the same damage modifiers.
Fucking crazy, man. That's
Yeah.
all right.
But anyway, so they were showing it though, and dude, even right now, with the returning pike, which I think it says I do like max like 17 points of damage, but with everything I am doing 40 to 50 points of damage if I throw at someone who's down below me with the returning pike right now. I only get one attack right now, but soon it's going to be 2. Oh, and the other thing you get is you get what's called, I think this might be at 5th level, you get Giant's Kick. So
Giant kick?
yes, so instead of pushing someone, you can kick them as a bonus action. And it will throw them, it's based on your athletics. It's your athletics versus their athletics. And it's the same as a push, except that it actually does damage because and there's a kick animation and a kick sound. And the woman that was doing the video says the sound alone will make you want to kick someone every time.
The sound alone.
It's like,
all right.
it really is cool. I haven't done the kick yet because I haven't gotten it yet.
This is a barbarian,
Yes,
right?
this is the barbarian.
Okay. I haven't played a barbarian yet, and maybe when I do play the Karlach playthrough, I'll choose this subclass because this sounds fucking hilarious.
Oh,
and I think
so far it's awesome, dude. I'm loving it.
I think seeing a giant Karlach walking around would be fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean, it's as soon as you're done raging, as soon as the battle ends,
right? It's
you
only
watch,
out.
you watch her. You actually like do her little like shake thing, and she shrinks back.
Yeah,
down.
it's only in combat,
Yeah.
but still, yeah.
But it is really cool. Now I haven't tried. So like the ranger is the swarm keeper. The paladin, I don't remember what the new oath is. The druid, it's the path of star or the circle of stars. The rogue, it's the swashbuckler. The monk, it's the drunken master.
Yeah. I've heard really good things about the Drunken Master. I hear it's a crack up.
Well, yeah, you're constantly like wobbling back and forth, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know how many of the others I'll try. I mean, I'll probably try them all a little bit just to see how they play. But yeah, I'm truly enjoying the game. I can't stop playing it. I played it all weekend long when I had the chance.
You played on Steam, right?
Yes, I played on Steam.
I think I might have seen you on Steam. I might have come up on, that you were playing BJ3 when I was just randomly sitting here.
Yep. But yeah, I love it. It's been fantastic. So
fucking cool, man.
definitely check it out.
I will definitely do that. You don't got to convince me to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, I know you're downloading Oblivion now, so you're going to get lost.
You know what?
Oblivion
That's
land.
the other thing. I just started playing one of the last PS4 games that I had just been sitting on my shelf for years now. Was Nier Automata, and I've always heard wonderful things about it. It's a JRPG, and I was like, all right, I'll finally like give this one a shot. And it feels like a game that's going to keep me busy for a little while. But yeah, I'll probably dive into some Oblivion. I might even boot it up for a little bit tonight before I go to bed. I got an early morning tomorrow. I got to be at the shop early. So,
I'm gonna be at my doctor's office at 9. So
yeah, so I got to watch it. But I am trying to stick to one game on my PlayStation and maybe one game on my computer at a time until I can beat them. My computer is ridiculous. I've got a shit ton of games on my computer that I haven't played or beaten in years. So, but I have so many games, and I'm like, I'm doing a disservice to these games by just having them sit on a shelf.
yeah.
I've also got, like, I want to get the new Indiana Jones game. It just finally got, it's now available on the PlayStation, and it's apparently the best Indiana Jones sequel that they've made since part 3. That I mean, they're saying it's way better than the most recent Indiana Jones film. So
Well,
I really
the
want to get
last
into
two
it.
films have not done well.
Right. The last one did better than 4, but it still didn't do as well as they would have liked. So
Well, they went back
yeah,
to the tried and true. They went back to Nazis and no flying saucers,
right. Exactly. Exactamundo.
and no surviving a nuclear blast in a refrigerator, or swinging through the trees like frickin' Tarzan. So we should wrap things up though.
Correct. We should wrap things up, guys. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday night here in Metro Detroit. Guys, be sure to swing in on Friday for our D&D game. I may be there, may not. I still got to figure out if I've got a replacement for my Mad Hatter on Friday night. I'm also like making good money, so I don't know. I mean, I might have to do it anyway. We of course will be back here next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So be sure to swing on in. Tell all your friends about us. We are in all the places you can find quality podcasting, and we'd love to hear from you. If you guys ever come up or think of something you want us to talk about, something you want us to address, please let us know. We're happy to talk about it.
Yeah, and remember,
Always looking for new things to talk about.
if you subscribe, you can actually get into our Discord channel too.
Correct.
CD drops stuff in there all the time. Have a good night, Ojipo. Thanks for hanging with
Yeah,
us.
good night, guys.
But yeah, you can also follow us on most social medias. We're on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on everywhere else, Drinking Nerds. We do have. I did play around with our website today, with Twitch today, and I've got some new stuff set up. So we'll see how long it takes people to find the new stuff that I've activated. So, but yeah, hopefully you can make it on Friday.
I hope so too. I mean, it's really annoying me.
And we'll be back.
I mean-
We'll be back next Tuesday.
Yeah. At the very least, I'll be here on Tuesdays.
Yep. So I think that's gonna about do it.
That should do it.
So, until next time,
Until next time,
Slancha.
Slancha.
All right. Have a good week,
All right.
everybody.
Good night.